Why can't the person just admit what they did to me? Don't they see it's black and white? How can they sit there and deny it? How can they sit there and pretend like it wasn't a big deal? Because here's the thing. Criticism of any kind will lead them to defending themselves, hurting you, discrediting you. It cannot be them ever. I'm yelling. They are either the victim, hero, or martyr. These kinds of people, these narcissists, these toxic people, these bad people, right? Again, I keep listing different words because I don't want somebody not being involved in the healing that we do at this channel because they maybe don't know narcissists or don't have one or don't think they have. It doesn't matter. If it's a toxic person and they behave in this way, then you need to listen. Any narrative we'll just call them they, have in their mind, any narrative they tell other people will always and only support them being either one of those three things, the victim, the hero, or the martyr. They would never, for example, have the self-evolution to say, which I've said many times, oh my God, did I? I said that to you? I did that? No. Really? Not ever in a million years. And if they do muster the words to say those words, they're manipulating you and they don't really mean them. And you might say, well, that's an awful negative view. Again, I think we just talked about it in the last video. They've already shown me what kind of person they are. I know they didn't change overnight. From our fight to this conversation 3 days later, you think they changed? You think their whole outlook changed? And what, they didn't mean what they did to you? They didn't mean it? They didn't mean what they said? Let me tell you something. There's nothing on earth that would ever make me say and do the hurtful and mean and horrible and rotten things that I've had done to me to someone that I claim to love. Which, if I claim to love you, I love you. I wouldn't even have the thoughts, let alone do the actions of the person. Okay? So they're manipulating you. I'm sorry. That's what they're doing. You already showed me you're a rotten person. So right now, you've shown me you lie, cheat, steal, stab me in the back, all this. Now you're trying to say nice words and think I'm going to believe you? No. That's them trying to manipulate you into forgiving them. They can come back into your life. They can, okay. Period, by the way, period. That's just the truth of it. So if you're waiting, while we've waited for some sign of growth or maturity or self-awareness, they're stewing and brewing over what they've convinced themselves is a valid point or argument. Bless their hearts. Seriously, bless their confused, disordered, dysfunctional black hearts. They're stewing. I'm right. I'm so right. They're all kinds of stewing. And we're basking in the space of waiting for them to come around. And like we talked about the last video, maybe even they'll come and heal us, which they can't do. Please see Monday's video. We're basking in the hope that they have a good side, that they didn't mean that hurtful thing. Instead of processing that that's what they intended to do to you, that can be sometimes too hurtful. To think that a person that you thought you loved is going to treat you this way. So we convince ourselves, well, they didn't mean it, or they were having a bad day. No, they're just bad sometimes. Come on, you guys. Not a reflection on you. Has nothing to do with you. It's their dysfunction. Okay? They've zero chance of ever coming out of that dark place of ugliness they keep themselves wrapped up in. But you can come out of it. You can come out of it. You can. You cannot put yourself in front of that person anymore and say, no more. No more. And then guess what? You're done. Please do not wait for them to see the light, take responsibility, accept blame, come to Jesus, have an epiphany, feel apologetic. It's not going to happen. And like I said, I'm talking about feel apologetic. Because like I always say, they will say it, they can say it. In order to get what they want, they'll say anything. Feel apologetic. They will never have a conscience about what they did. They will defend. I'm sorry, that always happens when I talk a lot. It's like, I don't know, something's in my throat, spit or something. Isn't that gross? They will defend their position. They will try to explain their side. They will try to explain themselves. They will excuse everything they did in the name of some reason they probably made up as to why they behaved that way. They'll try to prove you're wrong and they're right. They won't realize or see the light or suddenly understand. I know, sounds down, it is. Whatever you call it, whatever you're waiting for is not ever genuinely going to happen. They could feign it, which is why I say genuinely, because of course they'll say anything to get the result. Now, I know there are residual effects of the mistreatment that you may need to sort through and deal with, which I can always help you in private coaching if you need to. Community tab has those details how to get started. But the point is, regardless, you can and will sort through the residual bad effects. They cannot. They're still stewing and brewing over there, being right about some useless point they made up. And they'll take it to their end of time before they give in, or oftentimes we're the ones that have to go after the toxic person. As the injured party, we're going after them because they're so firm in their position. They're right. They're more interested in being right than having peace. They won't let the non-point that they have go. Hilarious. They convince themselves of their own lie, of how things went down, right? To the point that they even believe their own story. Enough time goes by, they'll justify it. They will never admit any wrongdoing. They're delusional. And you can't talk to delusional. I tried for many times. And I don't want to anymore, ever again. I have lovely people in my life, and there just isn't room for anyone who executes behavior that doesn't align with how I want to be treated, how I think I should be treated, how I believe everyone should be treated, how I try to treat others with respect and compassion and common decency and perhaps a glimmer of humanity, right? I can't help you not be out to get me. For some reason, you made a decision that you're out to get me, right? Narcissist person, bad person, toxic person. You've made a decision to hate me, be mean to me, talk bad about me. That's all on you. I never give any of these people a thought anymore, except clinically when trying to outline something to tell you guys what to look for. But in my life, my head's never down, wondering, oh, that person. No. You're over there holding grudges. I forgot all about you. Your problems. And I've let go of ever having anything to do with you again. It's a wonderful feeling, you guys, when you put them in your past. I'm trying to be very exact in my language so that you can hear exactly the no turning back point in my voice that I want you to get to with someone that mistreats you. You can choose to not be around that person anymore. Poof, abuse gone. There can be PTSD and ramifications. I know that. I said that above. But now we can deal with the ramifications of it. Of course we can. And let me just say, it won't be with you forever. The mess you may be feeling that they left you in, it won't be with you forever. You'll sift through it. You'll understand it's not you at all. And you'll be able to move forward. They, by the nature of their choices, will be and are remaining stuck in the vortex of this angst they always seem to be in. That's not your problem. And if you look at a person that operates this way, they generally have angst towards more than one person. They have a lot of complaints about people. And this sentence comes out of those people's mouths a lot. Well, they should do this, and they should have done that, and they should behave this way. Think of like, I hear it a lot with like non-parents. If a toxic bad person comes in the body of a non-parent, oh, they should do this. They have every advice about what parents should do. You're out with them at a restaurant, they have every advice. So my kid would never do that. Okay, They have all the advice. And they are in a vortex of angst against so many people. They're trying to expel their idea of what's righteous onto every single person in the world, and they would do everything better. But they can never look inward and see, ever. So you guys, I want you to understand, they will not admit what they did. And if they do, it's with reservation, hesitation, and manipulation on the brain. So give yourself a break and stop trying to get blood from a stone. I guess that's what I'm saying. See you Friday.